Hello everyone, I'm High Treason and welcome back to a long drive. I'm sure this isn't the biome type we're in. This building seems to have moved in our absence. Hey, it's another 2102. Cool. That's diesel, I don't need that. Well, I guess we're going to be looking for a new car. Now if we weren't looking for a new car, I reckon we could actually make it to 3000 by part 53 in this car. But we'll get out of here, there doesn't seem to be anything I need there. Yeah, I might be running a bit low on oil. So, a new car is going to either be a Trabant or a 2105. We did drive a 2105, but we drove it for only 18 kilometres. And that was basically just far enough to get us another car, because I hate the 2105. But I would actually prefer to find one of them before the Trabant here, I think. Just so we can make it to the 3000 target. That bashing's going to get worse. Can you imagine if we were driving a little belly dancer fucking Dacia now? Dacia. I've had people call it that. I don't know which one's right. I said Dacia. Yeah, it's a Dacia. It sounds like tough shit.
Lord Darcy Barrows, Lord Barrows, my ancestor, hear me. I know of your pain and anguish when you lost your beloved daughter Annabel, and just before the ritual of engagement. My love for Alyssa led me to kill her father Philip.
God, this must be quite steep. Either that or we are really short on oil. Yeah, maybe we're just really short on oil.
Lord Voldemort, my equal. Hear me. I know of your pain and anguish when you tried to kill the Potter boy. My love for Alyssa led me to kill her father Philip.
I'd love to see Lord Burroughs and Lord Voldemort have a conversation. Because I think they'd just argue about which method of immortality was best, you know.
What? Horcruxes? Ugh. That's a filthy branch of magic. The ritual of engagement is the only true way to immortality.
You'd have Voldemort be like, no, it's not. Horcruxes, they're the real way to do it, and you can do it multiple times. You can only do the ritual engagement once.
That's because it's pure and righteous. Horcruxes are for upstarts. That's what they're for. People who don't know how to perform the ritual engagement. I bet you don't even know any ruders.
No, I don't. And why would I? Their magic's terrible. All they can do is get rid of subordinates. And that's not very useful, is it? I mean, if you want to take over the world...
Take over the world? I don't want to take over the world. I just want to have sex with my granddaughter. Look at you. You've been in a school with hundreds of children, and you didn't have sex with one of them. It's dreadful.
Oh, come on, game. That's not fair. I didn't do anything. Everybody knows, like, you know, Burroughs. Well, Dick wants to bang Alyssa. You know, it doesn't do a good job of hiding it, and that just ain't right. And I'm glad he gets killed, like, at the end of the game. You know, it makes you feel good about, like, watching him just, like, plummet to his death. You know, so yeah, I'm cool with that, with him expiring. You know. Yeah, it's a bit of a dodgy character, Burroughs. It really is. Yeah, we ain't getting much speed at all here. It's fucking dark here as well. Fucking hell, it's real dark. And I kind of don't want to stop just because of how fucking... Well, I'll stop here. It might have some oil. I'm assuming we're running out. Hmm.
Lord Barrows. Lord Barrows. Lord Bollocks. To have sex with my most precious granddaughter.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. You wouldn't trust him, like, would you, to do anything? Like, Yeah, I think him and Lord Voldemort would get along. And then what if you throw Lorenzo into the mix, you know?
I think you're both wrong. The only way to immortality is through the Azov. Tell me, Dick, does your granddaughter have the Azov?
Azov? I've never heard such nonsense.
Yes, it's the essence of life. It's, if you use the Azov, you can...
No, I won't hear of it. It's dreadful.
Yes, but it sounds like something you would actually like from what you've said about...
No, sounds dreadful. Ritual of engagement.
Well, I thought they wouldn't, you know, because they spent so long trying to figure it out. It was like,
Oh, no, I don't want to hear of anything that's easier and more pleasant. I've made my decision 50 years ago.
Your granddaughter's not even 15 yet. How can you have made this decision 50 years ago?
I think he's lying. No, not at all. I made this... When I had Nancy, I was hoping that she would be ruder and suitable for the ritual engagement, and she was, but she was quite ugly, and, well, it was part of my plan that I wanted to rape my victim before I would kill them, and, well, I found my daughter very unattractive. Yes, it was quite a surprise. I almost lost hope, and thought that Alyssa might also be just as ugly, but she wasn't. And that's why she's there. So I can...
I wonder, like, you know, how it'd go. Like, surely, you know, in that situation, you've got these horrible people, but they're probably going to think that one of them is like, you know, that's going too far, that's immoral, you know. And I feel like two of them would gang up on one. Like, you know, you'd have... I honestly think they'd go after Dick / Burroughs. Canister. But they weren't these German originally, the design of these cans. I don't know why we call them jerry cans. No, what the hell? Oh, that wasn't good. Yeah, you know why we call them jerry cans, weren't they? Like, designed for the German military. Might be. I don't know this for certain, but I'm sure they were a German military thing, those cans. But yeah, I can imagine, you know, he's just going crazy, like Dick / Darcy, you know.
Yes, and when I get my granddaughter to pull down her underwear, I look at that sweet underage... No, this is disgusting. I don't want to hear of this. Yes, but the things you said that you would do to that girl in your castle.
At least she's 18. You're talking about girls who haven't even turned 15 yet.
Yes, I'm Lord Voldemort. I'm going to attack a school, and even I wouldn't do this. Poppycock, look, the ritual engagement is the only true way to...
That's how I picture it playing out. Like, they just decide, no, it's too horrible for us, this Burroughs. Like, from a gameplay standpoint, like, Lorenzo is, like, the most horrible in a lot of ways, but from a moral standpoint, like, even though Burroughs never says he's going to, like, actually do anything like that, you really get the vibe that he probably does want to, and it's kind of, like, is worse, you know?
Lord Barrows.
Darcy Barrows and Darcy, what a fucking name. Who calls their like offspring Darcy? I mean, it's just, you know, congratulations, it's a boy. Oh, what are we going to call him, sweetheart? I don't know. You know, I kind of want my kid to get bullied in school. Let's call him Darcy. You know, I mean, it could work. Might harden him up, you know, as he gets older, or it could just make him really unhinged. I mean, that can happen as well if somebody gets bullied a lot. I mean, I think people go too far with crying bully these days. I think they did when I was a youngster, you know. everything's bullying. It's like, well, no, and you know, you need to teach people to stand up for themselves a bit. So maybe it's good they encounter bullies when they're young, and the bully's going to be relatively harmless. Like, you don't tell them to go and tell the teacher, you tell them to knock the fucker out. And the teacher won't do anything anyway. Like, when I was in school, it was you should always tell the teacher. And so you'd go to the teacher, and the teacher would be like, oh, don't tell tales. And then the bully would come back and beat you up, because it's like, you told the teacher, you fucking grass. And so instead, what you learned to do was, like, the bully would come and try and bully you, and then you'd go and tell the teacher because you were going to knock him out. And instead you'd word it like, he's bullying me, and I'm going to punch him. Either tell him to stop it, or he's going to get floored. And the teacher, don't come tell tales. Like, I warned you. And you'd just walk back over there and punch him straight in the face. Just like, yeah, you won't bully me, do you? And then you'd get in trouble, you know, oh, you've been hitting this. It's like, well, he hit me. Why is that okay? You know, why just because I'm taller than him is it now a problem? He shouldn't have hit me. And that's the only way bullies learn, you know, it works two ways. It makes you tougher, and it, in some cases, teaches the bully to fucking knock it off, or at least pick his target more carefully. Because, I mean, he knows now if he starts on you, or someone like you, he's probably going to get his nose broken, so you know, he's not going to do it again. When you beat the bully up in school, he usually tried to be your best mate, you know, it's like, oh shit, like, he's harder than me. I want to be his mate now, and fuck knows how that works. I always used to refuse, you know, it's like, no, I don't like you, fuck off, you know. But then at the same time, it's a bit of a lad thing, or it was, like, in my time and even before, as, like, been that age, well, quite often your best mates were people you had a fight with, and that was how you'd become friends. You know, that was just a lad thing. Girls didn't seem to work that way, they just hate everybody. But, yeah, you know, lads quite often you'd have a scrap and then you'd be mates. Like, who's he? I don't fucking like him, you know, I don't like the look of him. What you fucking doing round here? What you doing here? Fucking says you, what you gonna do about it? You gonna do something? You can fucking find out what you're gonna do about it. I'm asking you, what you gonna do about it? Fucking push me, you dickhead. Fucking push me, you fucking dickhead. Then you'd have a scrap, like, on the pavement. And then you'd walk off, you know. And then you'd sort of run into each other again. Just, alright, mate, you know. How you doing? Ah, alright. Yeah, you know, how's so-and-so? Oh, it's alright. Hey, you wanna lock out? Yeah? Alright. Well, what are we lacking? Ah, shit, you got your bike? Yeah. Ah, fucking hell, mate, I'll go get mine. Should we fucking, should we ride to, like, Eden or something? Yeah, fucking yeah, mate. Yeah, I got out else to do. I don't know. It's like you trust and respect each other now because you hit each other a bunch of times. It's probably an evolutionary mechanism, you know. It's that you probably want to be around people who are, like, physically strong. It increases your chance of survival, like back when we used to be like primitives and stuff. So, you know, that might be a thing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake, there's an out in here. Oh, it's got water in it. Come on, car. Ah, I forgot to look at the starting distance. We might not make our target because I don't know what I was supposed to. Oh yeah, 620 or something. I'll say we're at 620. I'm sure that was our target yesterday. She's done 14k. She's doing about a k a minute, which is awful. I mean, that chubby girl, right, that, you know, I was on about many parts ago. Yeah, her older brother was like one of my best mates, and that was because we had a scrap. Like, you know, when I moved on that neighbourhood, everyone's like, oh, watch out for him, he's hard, he'll come, he'll beat you up, you know, he beats everyone up. So, well, he hasn't come and beat me up yet, so, you know. And I was hanging out with Lauren one day, and we were at the end of the 10 foot, and he just started mouthing at me. And so we had a fucking fight. And it was actually a good day, because for the rest of the day, Lauren was running around pampering me. You know, I was sat there and just like fanning me with a piece of card, kept bringing me drinks and like food and everything. It was a real fucking nice day. And then, you know, that was like that, where the next time me and him ran into each other, it was just, hey, alright, mate. How are you doing? Oh, alright. You fucking, you doing now? No, I'm just going to shop. Oh, I'm going to shop and all, mate. As usual. Yeah, fucking hell. Yes, when did you move in here? Oh, fucking hell, quite a while ago now. Oh, yeah. Yes, you live that way, do you? Yeah, you live at that other end, don't you? You live on that street. Yeah, Yeah, no, I'm mates with your sister. Oh, yeah, no, she said that, yeah. Ah, fucking hell, yeah, I knew you from somewhere. Hey, mate, you're like Sega, It's literally how it went. Well, I said, I'm not sure boys do this now. I'm not sure if that's why they make friends now. Maybe that's why nobody has, like, friends as much. I mean, that's a big part of it, because they're not making mates by punching each other. Like, wouldn't that be fucking weird? But I would totally believe that, because that's just the way it worked since forever. You know, that's the way my older siblings made friends, the way my father made friends, it's the way his father made friends, and probably the way his father made friends, as far as I know. I mean, granted, you know, well, yeah, you know, so I think that's the thing that is probably disappearing, and it's maybe not the best thing. You know, it's just normal behaviour. Like, if I had a son and I saw him scrapping, I probably wouldn't stop him, because it's just like, well, you know, they're not going to seriously hurt each other, it's just what boys do, you know. They're not really going to do that much damage. If it looks like it's going too far, I'll stop them, but otherwise I couldn't care less. And, you know, if I had a son or a daughter and they had their mate round and they were being disrespectful, you know, but like, they're going to fucking talk to you like that, fucking slap them. And if they're going to fucking slap you back, punch them in the fucking nose and they'll shut up. And I wouldn't consider that the wrong thing to do, you know, that's how we were brought up and we did just fine, so... Yeah, I don't know. You know, sometimes it is like the solution. Not excessive violence, but just a little bit of it. It's a normal, healthy behaviour. I mean, going around stabbing people, not so much, but having a bit of a punch-up, it's now, is it? And I guess you got to consider here, you know, I am from, like, nomads and carny folk and stuff, and if you have a serious enough disagreement in that world, then one of your ways of solving it is to just go and have a fucking bare knuckle with us. And then it's solved, when it's behind you, it's like, alright, you know, that's dealt with now, let's move on. You know, yeah, fair enough, you were right, I was wrong, you know, that's... I can accept that now. That horizon on the right looks really weird with the way the heat haze is affecting it at times. It's pretty strange. The heat haze is actually quite pronounced over there, isn't it? It's like perking little finger marks in the terrain that just popped. Oh, we're getting back up a bit of speed here. Yeah, you can imagine what it's going to be like coming. It's like a gradual mountain, this, because it doesn't seem really, really steep. It's pretty strange terrain. Well, a little belly dancer car's probably the last one we're going to see for ages. Yeah, that tough girl should be around again soon. I'll have to find more Arnold movies for her to watch, because she loves them so much. Doesn't like them. And that's not good. So she better start liking them, because I'm going to watch more of them now. What was that noise? That was a weird noise. How can you not like Arnold movies? I mean, there has to be something mentally wrong with you if you don't like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? I just don't get it.
Arnold, Arnold, Arnold.
I thought that noise. Yeah, I thought that was a Plymouth trim on a regular, like, tired wheel then. I mean, it's the same wheel type, but, you know, I'm certain it's set to spawn with only a wheel that has a Plymouth tyre. Like a white wall tyre. I wonder if we get any more cars in the game that use those someday. You know, and so I just see that it would be a bit weird if it spawned on a like, smaller black tyred rim. Okay, I ain't driving down this in the dark. Fucking hell, there's a boat there, look. That's right off the road, like right next to it. I'm sure I saw some white smoke when I was stopping. No, it was just a texture on the boat. How are we on oil? I mean, like, actually, how are we doing for oil? Oh, well, loads. The car just don't like the hills. Probably too heavy. All the crap we've put in it. Well, that poor Skoda, that thing lumped its engine around for like however many miles. I think this is going to be a rocky bit of road, this. There you go. Yep. Terrain holes definitely more common out here. I'm glad we drove hard in the last part. Now, you know, again, I say, oh, we're going to try and change car, and we are, but we know they're rare now. But I am keeping a lookout for buildings off out in the desert, as we've discovered it seems more likely for them to spawn out there. You know what pisses me off? Milk that isn't full fat. Like, it really annoys me. I only buy whole milk. And even if I didn't drink whole milk and I wanted semi-skimmed, I would still buy whole milk. Because it's a rip-off. Like, milk's fucking expensive. It always has been, you know. This is why we make porridge with water. It's not because it tastes better, necessarily. I mean, it does if you're used to it that way. But it's because milk's expensive and you don't want to use it to make porridge. So, like... Oh shit. I'm going to say we're going to hit the post. We're not avoiding that. Something fell off. I don't know what fell off, but something. Oh, my sun visor. So it's weird how these respond to tab, but the spray bottles don't. Is it a bumper or something? We lost a hubcap. I'm sure I saw something bigger fall off. Oh well, it's probably just the radiator. Yeah, it's a scam. You know, it costs pretty much the same, but it's like... It shouldn't have cost less, because it's mostly water. Like, you know... So what you do is you just get, like, a fucking 2-litre bottle, buy the 1-litre, like, you know, whole milk, pour it into the 2-litre bottle, and then top it up with water, and you've got semi-skimmed for half the price. And if you want skimmed, then you just buy the, you know, 500 millilitre whole milk and pour that in there and top it up with water. And then you've got skim milk. It's fucking amazing. And it's a quarter of the price. Now, me personally, I don't believe in half-assing things, so I just drink whole milk, you know, but if you're, like, kidding yourself into thinking it's going to do something to your weight... You would have to drink a lot of milk to put weight on with it, unless you have a particularly weird metabolism. We don't have the stuff to build this car up, so... Otherwise, we might have taken it. It's a nice shape, that body, isn't it? Sexy body. I randomly had a dream with Heather Mason in it last night, which is weird, because I think her character model's kind of ugly, because I've always had a suspicion it's actually modelled on James. Oh, we're going to oil. Well, we'll top ourselves up then. It wasn't a wet dream I had. You know, she just randomly appeared in some dream. Maybe I was playing Silent Hill 3 in the dream, but I don't think I was. I think I remembered if I'd been playing that in a dream. That wouldn't have been a good dream. It's better than Silent Hill 2. But yeah, the other thing I don't understand, right, as we're on dairy products, my mother used to buy this fat-free cheese. And I don't know how they were allowed to sell that, because if you know anything about cheese, certainly block cheese, you know, then you will realise how that's impossible. Like, you know, a lot of people who have lactose intolerance can actually tolerate eating cheese with very few, if any, ill effects. And the reason for this is that lactose is a sugar that is water soluble, and block cheese is made out of all the fat soluble things in the milk. Like, that's the cards. The whey is the, you know, water soluble stuff. The cards are the fat soluble stuff. And the cheese is made out of the cards. Now, obviously, if you have something like cottage cheese, you have a lot of whey left in, but, you know, block cheese is the fat soluble cards of the milk. So, to have fat-free cheese is just doesn't compute for me. It's like, no, that can't be right, that can't be a thing, because cheese is made out of the fat-soluble products. So, you know, it doesn't add up. And I remember trying to eat it, and it tasted fucking barf, and I tried to melt some, because I'm like, well, that might make it taste better, because I don't have any cheese in. You know, this was when I was like 12 or something, and yeah, I put it on the toast and it didn't melt. And I'm not good at making toast. I always burn it anyway, so I don't eat it. I prefer to microwave it. But, the microwave was... I mustn't have had access to it for some reason at that time. And, you know, maybe it was put away or something. I think we'd only just moved there, so it probably wasn't set up yet. But that doesn't matter. What's the point? Is I put the fucking toast on the grill with this fat-free cheese. It wouldn't fucking melt. And it just started turning brown and smirking and turned black and smirked more and smelt like really, really horrible. And I was just like, you know what? That isn't cheese. Like, and I don't think they should be allowed to sell it as cheese. Like them cheese slices, I think some people call them American cheese. Those are sold as cheese food because they're kind of not real cheese. And they should have to do that for that fat-free shit. Now, I ain't seen it on sale in years. So maybe it is still on sale and isn't sold as cheese. Maybe it's sold as cheese food or something now. It's like there's one lot, cheese food. You know, derivative of cheese. Not actual cheese. I think we're going to go in a snow biome. They're not very common. That's quite pretty, actually, isn't it, for this game? Like, this game is not... I would never really call this game, like, pretty. But that actually is kind of pretty over there. I took a screenshot of it. Hey, what's that out there? That is a bird. I don't want to go there. But yeah, I don't get that. I'm sure at least one person here must have seen it, but I don't know if anyone will still be watching by now. I mean, this is like, what, part 52? I'll let you have two guesses for the distance. Like, you know, the total part numbers thing, I mean. Like, if you want to have two, like, guesses for how many part numbers you think it's going to take us, then you go right on ahead and, you know, submit 2 times. Just don't 2-time me. Because that's very disrespectful and I won't like you. We lost a hubcap again. Well, only a hubcap. So, we'll just drive on. Could we look for it? Yeah, but it's a hubcap. I don't care that much. We always find more. We'll just take one off our new car and put it on here, like when we change. I like to leave my cars complete, you know, if I can. Fucking, I told you, like, going down this would be fucking monumental, didn't I? Well, in any case, yucky food. Another thing I'm sure I brought them up before is one colour. There was a Wonka bar. And it was quite weird because it was obviously years after the Gene Wilder like Wonka movie, but it was a few years before the Michael Jackson one, and so it had a cartoon Willy Wonka that was like its own thing, like in the commercials. And I distinctly remember him coming on this cartoon Wonka.
Willy Wonka purple chocolate, and it's purple.
It's like we just implied that when you said it was purple chocolate. And yeah, the original ones of these Wonka bars were quite short but very cuboidal. They were very tall. They were purple, and inside them, I don't know if you ever had Wham bars, but they're basically just sticky sugar, essentially, with fizzy sugar in like bits in them. And it had like a purple liquefied version of that inside, and you could feel it giving you diabetes when you were eating it. And they weren't on sale very long, and I remember the newsagent like just stacking them all up on the counter and selling them for fuck all. And I had some coins left, so I bought one day, and I was like, oh man, let's try one of these purple fucking chocolate things, you know, I bet they're fucking gross. And yeah, they were pretty nasty, but I can't find photos of or nothing, and I replaced them with these flat, sort of long flat bar that wasn't quite as intense a shade of purple. Like it was a really gross sort of, I don't even know what colour, because it wasn't really purple, but it wasn't really pink, it was kind of dull. It was just like, ugh, colours. Yeah, we're in mountains, I can't take that bus even if, plus I wouldn't take the bendy ones, they're undrivable. But, yeah, they replaced them with these little flat ones where I think they still had the fizzy things in the chocolate itself, and they didn't have the liquid Wham bar shit in them anymore. If anyone, like, somehow has a photograph of one of the original ones, I would love to see them. This must have been circa 2000, 2001, somewhere around there, I think. Yeah, or if anyone even remembers them, just tell me I'm not going crazy and that isn't a false memory. You know, that I know it happened. And all I can assume is the short sales time, somebody must have got ill from eating them, or at least claimed to have done. I can't remember what company produced them or anything, and I don't think it was one of the big brands. I mean, it was probably a big brand owned the company that put its name on there. Because, I mean, that's a thing that you do, you know, if you... They probably, you know, say they knew it was potentially very unhealthy. Then what you would do is you'd have a company start up that would just happen to have like some of your staff like running it. And then, you know, basically if they do well, you just purchase them like, at some point, but, you know, you just reabsorb them, do a fucking bunch of merger shit. But, yeah, you know, if they fuck up, then the company closes. The registered legal address of the company, you know, is actually the company's legal farm, and of course they don't exist. So, well, that sort of takes care of the lawsuits a little bit. And plus, the fact if it makes a loss, well, you don't have to post that to your investor. So, you know, your investors are like, hey, so, about that report, oh yeah, we didn't lose any money on any purple chocolate products because we never made any. Yeah, we lost this little bit here, you know, that was for some fucking startup that we decided to help. I don't know what happened to them, you know, we didn't get that back, but it wasn't a lot, so... And the investors know what you're doing, you know, they're well aware of it, but I suspect they're probably not that bothered if you're doing that sort of stuff, because it doesn't really come back on them. And, you know, they're probably going to look at that and be like, well, this guy seems to understand how large businesses work, so, you know, he's probably competent, probably knows what he's doing at least. Used to annoy my business teacher in college quite a lot with things like that, you know, I would suggest doing things in ways like this. And what was funny is I would usually pass the assignment because it wasn't the teacher who marked it. And I remember about business loans and stuff like that. And, you know, it was about, you know, getting a loan for like your business. And what they would do, the people who wrote the assignments, is they would drop these little things in there that you would kind of miss. There would just be kind of a little hint where it'd talk about projected inflation over the next, like, whatever period of time. And most people would just skim by it because it's, oh, that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It does. He just held a bus up with his head. You got to be impressed by that. You know, projected inflation for this time period is it, and it's like, you know, I'd sort of look at that and be like, the fuck are you telling me that for? And then I'd stop and think and be like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, right, so, you know, that's actually quite high. So if we negotiate the loan so it doesn't have to be paid back for, like, at least this amount of time, and if this inflation works out, then when I pay the loan off, it's essentially worthless. And plus the fact in that time, you know, I grew the company, and then my company's going to be bigger, and that's just going to be a fucking tiny drop in the ocean, like all things considered. You know, and it was really just there to hint you to do that. Like, you know, to fucking try to negotiate, like, a longer fucking time, but of course you'd have interest pay on it and stuff, and they did expect you to start trying to account for that and figure out what that was likely to be. But if you did your research like that, you would tend to get actually, like, higher marks in the assignment, and the teacher would get very angry, like, oh, you can't do things like that. It's like, well, yeah, I can. Fuck you. The one with investors that I remember getting mad with was where I was explaining to her about net worth and fucking revenue and debts and stuff, and she got quite annoyed because I was quite happy to just run up debts and, like, you know, just bring more investors all the time. And she's like, well, that's not really a very good thing to do. It's like, well, isn't it? Well, why don't you tell that to Google? You know? It's like, well, I don't think Google has anything to do with it. I'm like, well, here's the thing, right? YouTube nowadays is probably different, but at the time, YouTube has never actually turned a profit. But if you actually look at the net worth of YouTube, it's fucking huge, and it keeps growing, and they've got more and more fucking investors, and the worth of the company just keeps going up. So, you know, really, you're always going to be able to fucking, you know, post a return in some form or another, and you just keep growing the company. When it all goes to shit, you just fucking sell it. You just fucking, if it starts going to shit, you sell the fucking thing as quick as you can. You hope it all fucking just works out, because it's full of risks. You know, you're always taking a risk, and that's the only way you're going to make the business bigger, is to take some risks. If you don't take risks, it's not going to go anywhere. You're just, you know, always going to be the little fucking corner store. It's never going to change. But yeah, the teacher didn't like my approach. Whereas, you know, I saw it as a perfectly valid option, even if it's not necessarily a very nice option. I remember when I first started that course, we had to do a group exercise. I'm trying to remember the you know, it was like team building, but they didn't call it that. It was some word that basically meant that. And we had to do a bunch of these exercises, and one of them was where each table had two people on it, and it was, each table was a different business, and it was to show interdependency of different businesses. So instead, I just started enacting, like, hostile takeovers, because I found, like, a way of doing it. So yeah, there's this lad on the other table, and I'm just like, look over at he makes paper, you know, I'm a fucking, like, press office or something stupid like that, or some printers or something. And so, you know, I'll like, hey mate, yeah, Neil, yeah, how many units of paper do you got? 1,000. You know, we had to write this stuff down, so I'm like, cool, send me 1,000 units of paper. Okay. And he writes it down, and I'm like, well, you just fucked up. Why? Because we didn't negotiate payment. All right, well, It costs, I don't care what it costs, you just sent me it, so there is no payment. Oh, yeah, fuck off. Now where are you going to, like, get the money to produce more paper? Well, yeah, where are you going to get the resources to make that? Yeah, miss. It's like, you can't do that. I'm like, well, it's not my fault. He sent it to me without, asking me to pay for it. So, of course I took it. I'm not going to say no to free paper. And I bought all the paper he had for nothing. Hey, Nick, looks like your fucking company's going to shit. So, yeah, fuck you, and fuck your company. And guess what? Here's what I'll do. I'll buy it off you for half of what this paper was supposed to cost. How do you like that, Neil? Yeah. Well, listen, you're going to just be sat in the exercise doing absolutely now for like the next fucking hour and a half if you don't let me, so, do you want to be fucking jobless? Do you want your company to go down the shitter, or do you want me to be a nice man and bail you out? Jeez, this part's gnarly up, mate. We've hardly made any fucking progress. Okay then. Alright, there we go. Now you get to keep your employment and everything, and all your employees, and you keep making paper, but I get a discounted price. That's the terms of the contract I'm making with you. Do you agree to these terms, or shall I just not buy you? I'm like, right, okay, now I own you, and we're putting the price of paper up. Why? Because I don't like him and he needs it. Dude, it's like, that's mean. You could make people unemployed and they might have families. Good, fuck their families. I hope their kids get sick. I hope their dog gets run over. I thought you were a nice guy. Yeah, but this is business. I can't afford to be nice. I just want to make lots of money now. So, so of course, I put this other fucking dude out of business because he couldn't afford the fucking paper. And I'm like, oh, good. We'll bring the price back down now. And, hey, I might just buy you out, Is it for sale? Because I'm in... I guess you wouldn't want all that stuff to go to waste. I can buy all your equipment if you don't want to sell me the company. Teacher's like, I think that was evil what you did. You'd never be able to do that. Well, yeah, tell that to Jack Trammell. Who's he? What do you mean? You're a business teacher. You've never heard of Jack Trammell? No, I don't know who he is. Well, then I suggest you go and read up on him. Yeah, she always used to try moraling me out of it. Fucking hell, we might just have to stop here. What was that noise? I've definitely never heard that noise before. It was weird. Fucking hell, man. This car's down on... Look at the back wheels! Like, look how fucking far they're sinking up in the fucking arch. I'm pretty much out of time. I can't fucking do this. Oh, man, I had mountains like this on my fucking... Every time you think it's going to end, it doesn't. Is there another building, like, a minute away? I don't think there is. I think we is in very hostile terrain. It still looks like Interstate 76 in a way, doesn't it, this game? I like that about it. Well, that may be a building there. No, it's a rock. Yeah, well, we're going to stop at the rock, because, I think Dwayne's our best hope right now. This place is desolate. Biggest deserts in the world are covered in snow. And I don't think we've done, we've done barely fucking... No, we might just be able to do it if we can get just one more kilometre in. Come on. Don't do that with a gearbox, you'll break it. Reminds me of one of them little Citroens that you used to get. Okay, we might just, come on, car. Come on. My foot's in the floor. Well, it can't be because of the way these pedals are built. They're actually pretty horrible. Come on, come on! Come on! 400 metres to go, and it's all uphill. What a hostile, horrible biome. Okay, 200 metres. Ooh, no, 100 metres, come on! That should just be the target. Just barely. Not a good place to stop, but it's what we got to do, I'm afraid. I'm dumping you in the desert today. Well, should we subtract like 30 seconds from every episode for me being in here? I think that sounds fair. I guess next time I might tell you how many episodes I think it's going to take us. Total distance, what is it? It is, drum roll please, 2917. Whoa! I think that's about right. Oh, geez, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I just hit